Hello everyone. This is the final reading of my old Hetalia fanfiction, Hetaoni Unheard Screams, chapter 12. And I noticed that the date on here is December 8th, 2015. It's been a long run, guys. Of course, I still have my surprise for after this chapter, but yeah, let's get started. Tsvetan, Andrei, and Erika stood in front of the gate that was closed. They tried to pry it open, only for it to stay closed. This could jeopardize us, Tsvetan commented, walking around the gate looking for a way out. There's not even a lock on it. How is that thing stuck shut? There is no point in trying to find the logic of this place. All that matters now is that we get out. So, I see your little satellites and you are trying to leave. The three turned around to see the ghastly figure of Elizabeta. She looked like a resuscitated corpse and clung onto a bloody machete. The only part of her that looked alive were her eyes, and by one look into them, the group could tell that she was not all there. You have quite the tenacity to keep on trying to escape this place. Why are you here? What do you want from us? The scroll said that none shall escape without facing the consequences. What scroll? Tsvetan asked. There was a scroll we found after Erika set you free. Either I kill you now, or you will escape into the human world and possibly go mad. I am going to assume that getting killed by a monster is not a smart choice. For once you are right, Andrei. There is never-ending torment that goes with being killed by these monsters, but it is the only way to get out. Sadly for you, Eliza, we plan to escape into the human world. I'd rather not have my life cut short by you. You want to play hard? So be it. Elizabeta perpetrated her attack on the trio. Due to it being so dark, it was hard to see what was going on. Only the light from the moon illuminated the scene. Erika split up from the fight to try and find a quick exit. Erika looked around frantically for a way out. The fear felt now had a similitude of the fear felt in the mansion. Erika! Erika whipped around to see Andrei cornered and Tsvetan laying on the ground. Erika hurried over to Tsvetan to see a slash in his chest. He tried to get up, but laid back down. She looked over at Andrei and Elizabeta, the latter ready to impale the other. Get it? Impale. I'm so funny. This is to compensate for Gilbert's death. Erika leaped into action, holding Elizabeta back. Though slightly shorter, she used all the strength she had to hold Elizabeta back. Andrei made a swift escape to tend to Tsvetan. Eventually, Elizabeta broke away from Erika's grasp, turned to face her. How humiliating. We used to be such a dreaming couple, and now you are against me, Elizabeta spat. Eliza, it is true that we used to be so close. However, I cannot allow you to hurt anyone. You are a dirty traitor. You're exaggerating the situation. I do not hate you. I just do not think you should simulate an attack on us. She's right. I never killed Gilbert. I only tried to save him. We do not have to kill each other to escape. You. There was a long, soul-crushing silence promulgated throughout the yard before Elizabeta finished her sentence. You are a liar. Elizabeta made a final charge at Andrei, but the machete never went through him. Instead, the machete went through someone else. After unintentionally impaling Erika, Elizabeta stepped back in shock, realizing what she had done. Oh, this isn't what I wanted. What did you want, Elizabeta? Erika inquired, sitting down to try and tend to her wound. You seem pretty intent on killing all of us. I did not want to kill you. I wanted to please the sovereign monster, yes, but I did not want to kill you. We went through every stratum of the mansion together. I only wanted to make peace with you. Elizabeta ran off from the group. She soon disappeared into the dark. Andrei was now left with a mess to clean up. Both of his friends were gravely injured, and there was no way out. Andrei began searching for any way out. The gate was still not opening up, and he knew he had to accelerate his efforts in looking for an exit. The situation has reached rock bottom, Andrei thought, sitting next to Tsvetan and Erika. This gate probably will not open up until one of us pass on, but I have to keep trying. Some loud rustling was heard nearby. Andrei knew it could not be Elizabeta, since she did not make that much noise running off. Andrei proceeded to kick at the gate and tried to force it open. Come on, please open. Hope returned to Andrei when he saw that the gate was slowly becoming loose. With one last kick, the gate flung open. Andrei rushed over to where Tsvetan and Erika were laying. when he saw the multiple pairs of eyes staring at him. "It's over, you creatures of the night!" Andrei shouted, grabbing both Erika and Tsvetan's bodies. Andrei burst out running into the night. The beasts followed him for a short time before returning to their metaphorical safe haven. Once safe in the suburban neighborhood, Andrei stopped at the sidewalk and began calling for help. There's a time skip here. It had been days since the escape. During that time, Andrei found out that while inside the mansion, time had not changed. While it felt like days inside the mansion, in the neighborhood, it was still Halloween night. Another odd thing he found was when he went back to school. Oh, okay, so, I'm not sure if this is actually an Hetaoni canon, but, I was, inspired by, I think it was Kagome One. I think that was the fan game, where, oh my god, I'm going to be spoiling one of the endings, but, when the main cast go back and Hiroshi is dead, supposedly, nobody knows who Hiroshi was. Like, his entire existence is forgotten about, pretty much. So, yeah. "Excuse me," Andrei called out to a student walking in the school hallway. He knew the student was close friends with Jakub and had an important question to ask. Yes? What is it?" the blonde student asked. "Do you know of a man named Jakub and his friend Eliska?" "Never heard of them." "Really?" "No. Do you need help finding your class?" "You don't know Jakub or Eliska? Do you know anyone named Gilbert or Elizabeta?" "I have never heard of any of the people that you are talking about." It was that moment when Andrei felt the sinking feeling of the dead students fading into non-entities. I see that my English teacher fixed that. Thank you, English teacher. You're probably not watching this, though. They once existed, but after dying in the mansion, it was like they never existed. I'm sorry. I feel like a moron asking you about such people. It is all right, the student answered. Your name is Andrei, right? I heard that your friends got attacked on Halloween. How did that happen? I don't know. I'm just not sure how to explain what had happened. If he told the truth, everyone would write him off as insane. He only hoped that Tsvetan and Erika would be out of the hospital and he would have someone to talk to about what happened. Weeks passed before Tsvetan and Erika were let out of the hospital. Andrei was thankful that they at least remembered him, but they now had to live a reality without the other students that went into the mansion that night. The three were sitting on the front porch of Erika's house. The weather forecast was predicting a windstorm in the coming hours. However, for now, they were just looking out at the street. It has been some time since then, Tsvetan commented. Though I cannot help but feel a sense of parity between us, all of us. In what way, Erika? We all went through the atrocities of the mansion, but cannot tell souls, since they will not believe us. As long as we have each other, maybe we'll not have to worry about going mad. The wind began to pick up and the trio went inside. They now had to carry their secrets with them to the grave. Not a single soul could know, since they did not want to be sent to a mental institute. And kept that secret they did. There we go! That's the end of Hetaoni Unheard Screams. Well, at least this version anyway. You see, I've mentioned in past chapters that I've been rewriting the story and changing plot points around, even changing character roles. For example, you may have noticed in this story that Hungary took more of an antagonistic role. However, in the rewrite, she's not going to be taking an antagonistic role. So, the surprise for this story, for this episode, is that I'm going to be reading the rewritten prologue. I hope you guys enjoy. Two figures sprinted down an old hallway, the wood flooring creaking underneath their feet. Fear traveled through their veins, a primal fear, the type prey felt when being chased by a predator. One of the figures seemed to be limping, but was being helped along by the other. Heavy footsteps could be heard trailing behind the two, a low roar ringing through the halls. Turning down the hallway, the two figures dashed down, reaching the room at the end. Throwing open the door, the limping figure collapsed at the floor, a mysterious liquid dripping out his right upper arm. The stronger figure slammed the door shut, shoving a nearby dresser in front of the door to prevent the hellish creature chasing them from getting in. As both figures, male students, tried to catch their breath, their panic went up like a balloon when pounding was heard at the door. The injured student backed away from the door. the liquid still leaking out of large gash marks on his arm, while the other student used all of his strength to block the door. After a while, the creature let out a defeated roar and stomped off. The student blocking the door wandered over to the injured student, moonlight barely illuminating the room and the student, showing the liquid seeping out was a mixture of blood and some strange blue-violet substance. "Are you okay, Andrei?" "I don't know, Tsvetan." Andrei's body temperature was all over the place, and his glossy, rusted eyes was looking around. "Something doesn't feel right. I feel like I'm going to melt, and then I feel like I'm going to freeze to death." Tsvetan pulled his backpack off, scurrying to find something, anything, to stop the bleeding. He shifted through to find his first aid case, knowing he just bought new bandages after using up the bandages he had. Pulling out the plastic case, he cracked it open, pulling out bandages and iodine. Tsvetan dabbed some iodine on a tissue and went over to dab the scratch marks on Andrei's arm. The moment the tissue made contact with Andrei's injury, a blood-curdling scream came from the poor injured student. Tsvetan flinched, backing away and hoping he had not lost his sense of hearing. Andrei backed away, a choked sob escaping his throat and his eyes darting all over the place. The usually white scleras in Andrei's eyes were looking more shadowy gray, making his rusted eyes stand out more. "Andrei, hold still," Tsvetan approached the crying student. "I am trying to help bandage you up." Tsvetan was cut off by his chest being slashed, his shirt being ripped open and blood spilling from the wounds. Tsvetan looked up in shock, seeing the one who had injured him was Andrei. Andrei's hands were trembling, his pale, creamy skin turning blue-violet, and his usually short fingernails now looking like black claws. His eyes were wide, shocked by his own actions, while hot tears poured down his still pale white face. Tears formed at the corners of Tsvetan's eyes, seeing just how petrified and hurt Andrei was, his chest in complete pain, and blood flooded down. "It's all right, Andrei," Tsvetan murmured, despite the fact he was swiftly losing blood. It's not your fault. You didn't mean to." Tsvetan's mind began to become foggy, like the suburban streets just outside the mansion during autumn. His vision became blurry as he collapsed onto the old wood flooring. Blood pooled onto the floor as Andrei shifted over to Tsvetan, fearing just what he had done since he was losing control of his own body. And that's everything. I'm actually hoping to continue working on the rewrite despite being busy with my art and stuff, and of course doing readings of Kidnapped by Sexy Men, Danish Slaughterhouse, and a new series of videos that I plan to do. But anyways, I will see you guys next time.